Just as a reminder, this channel is for educational or perhaps entertainment purposes only, whichever the law would prefer. Hello, everybody. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Hey. Want to thank everyone in the chat and for the kind words. Appreciate it. And great to see you all. So just kind of dropping in quick to talk about this, the insanity that's going on with the eclipse. So like I mentioned in the previous video, I'm not going to be streaming as much, so just pop on occasionally to please the algo and keep the channel out there a little bit. But I really wanted to cover this eclipse sooner, and just the incessant gaslighting that's going on is of epic proportion. And I'm sure a lot of you have seen it. I mean, it's hard to not see it. It's like it's one of those matrix events that just gets crammed down your throat no matter how much you try to block things, right? They're just not having it. Just one of those events. So anyways, yeah, so I just wanted to say that the eclipse in, I believe it was, let me just get the exact date, August 21st, 2017. So leading up to that eclipse, same thing happened. I don't remember all these states of emergency, but I'm sure there were some. But the same amount of fear tactics, we're going to lose power, or this is going to happen, or that's going to happen. I mean, it's always the fear. But enjoy yourself, okay? Safely enjoy yourselves. Don't be unruly citizens in this beautiful matrix of ours, because that would be a big no-no. Remember, you're supposed to respect authority. So, yeah, I mean, it's bonkers, absolutely bonkers. There was one clip I saw, and I'm kicking myself repeatedly. I just could not find it again. And I think when I was looking in like one of the private tabs. I didn't realize it. But one of the funniest ones I saw was one of these prosperity preachers out there saying, "Oh, God would want you to donate for the eclipse right now." You know, like one of those things. I mean, it was just totally bonkers. It's like, if you don't donate right now, then you're going to be a sinner and you're never going to get to heaven. It was freaking bonkers. But I mean, like, that's just like one example. But the new age stuff, the new age fair porn going on out there with the clips is absolutely bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. The news, bonkers. Police departments, bonkers. I mean, it is otherworldly. And take note, seriously, I think this is really important and I'm probably going to say this multiple times because it can't be stressed enough. I've fallen for stuff like this. I've fallen for, something's going to happen on 322 or this date or that. I mean, over and over with the dates, the times, year after year, prediction after prediction, none of them come true. The anniversary of 9/11, on and on and on. The days are endless. The predictions are endless. And I'm telling you guys, I'm sure many of you have seen it, but maybe some of you haven't, fallen down like the prediction rabbit hole. But they're endless. The predictions just never end. Always with the dates, or always with the dates and the times, or some sort of year. and event or something links to revelations and yada yada yada. And I mean, it's incessant, and none of these things ever happen. Nothing ever happens. And so you have to ask yourself, at some point when you have been messed with mentally, and like if you're going through like a spiritual thing in your life, or like a dark night of the soul, or something like that, right? Or maybe like on the early journey of your truth or something, you're extremely vulnerable and you're trying to make sense of the world, and you have clowns like these out there trying to push that fear and say, oh, this is going to happen, this is going to happen. Oh, or be ready, make sure you're all ready for this one or that one. At some point, just out of the pure odds, someone is going to get it right. But I've witnessed probably hundreds of these. I don't know how many, but at least a few hundred of all these different dates being, big dates or big reasons or big times or big events that are supposed to be, world changing and this and that, and nothing ever happens. The 2012 one was even a good example. The year 2000, I remember, even with like the computers, some of you may have been around for that, where they're saying, oh, it's everything's going to be all screwed up. The electric grid's going to shut down, yada, yada, yada. And it never ends. I mean, the stuff for 2000, I remember, in 2012, those things were ramping up for years in advance. Years. 2012 was, the end of the Mayan calendar. Woo, and nothing happens. And then some people like to say, like, especially like the clown David Wilcox out there. Remember, some of you probably run across him. Anyways, I know he was big into both those events, but especially like the 2012, like, because the internet was more around back then. So, he had his little side clown show going on. And, and then of course nothing happens. And then him and a bunch of these other kind of spiritual wannabe gurus out there who, pretend that they have all the answers. They're like, oh, well, haven't you seen, like, there's been a big shift on Earth. People are waking up now and yada, yada, yada. Well, you know what? Just by the internet, like the whole thing with waking up and how, like, it seems... I've wrestled with this one in my head because part of me agreed with that for a while, right? I mean, and just hear me out. Just think about it. And, of course, come up with your own conclusion. But this is kind of my thought on it. If you have the internet, right, and more and more information's coming out, more and more people are talking about spiritual topics, truth topics, and you yourself are consuming those things, well, it's only natural, based on your perception, my perception in life, because the content that we are consuming, that we think more and more people are waking up and realizing the scam and deception that this whole world is. But then there's like multiple layers of that scam and deception, right? Like one of the big ones, let's see, trying to think how to say this one without, I definitely don't want to say it completely. Okay, the letter after P. That whole thing that happened, during the presidency of you-know-who. President Jaina, him, he, like that whole thing, unbelievable how manufactured that was. And it was to get a certain, like the right side, the conservative side, into pigeonholed into a certain line of thinking, and they did a hell of a job with that. But at the same time, it was pathetic. because there was so much garbage with it, but then you had those few nuggets out there that they chomped on. I mean, I saw it for what it was within probably the first couple weeks, but it's just one of those things. And there were dates galore, predictions galore, and everyone was signing on to it and thinking, oh my God, they're gonna hold tribunals and this and that, and nothing, not a thing happened. One of the craziest things I've ever seen with predictions, and it is freaking hilarious. And look, let me just say this. We all fall down different rabbit holes, right? We all wake up and come to certain truths or realizations at different times. So as far as that whole thing goes, specifically, or anything, right? I mean, some of the stuff I've believed and signed on to and even talked about on this channel, which, those videos have since been deleted because I realized how stupid they were. But there's certain things that you believe in as you kind of go through this journey. And I don't fault anyone for their journey, right? It's just funny when you are able to look back on some of these things and laugh at what you used to believe, or maybe perhaps what you fell for. So one of the funniest things of that, movement, op movement, was that JFK Jr. is alive, and he was going to appear in Dallas where JFK got shot on the anniversary. What was it, 11/23 or something like that? And it was in, I don't know, maybe like 2020 or something like that. He was going to appear and roll up and say hello to everybody and yada, yada, yada. I kid you not, there are videos online, my friends, of a massive crowd, like with lawn chairs, sitting in, sitting in Dallas, right at the spot where the whole Kennedy thing went down, and they're all expecting to see JFK Jr. appear. These were dates, right? Like, these were predictions. So the reason why I'm talking about all this is that all these predictions out there, all these different things that prophecies and revelations and all this stuff, it's all BS. Every last bit of it, it's a joke. So what are you going to do, right? I mean, here we have the eclipse, and it's like, oh, well, CERN's going to do this, and NASA's going to do that, and they're going to put rockets up, whatever the hell that means. And so, of course, the occult overtones of both organizations. Well, the occult overtones of both organizations, that's what they're rooted in. I mean, it's nothing new. These things are completely, it goes to the very foundation of these organizations, right? Of these parasitic organizations. So Monday's going to come and go. Nothing's going to happen. You got your glasses if you live in America or within the, trajectory of the eclipse, and have a good time. One thing I will say, I did do a bit of a meditation session in the last eclipse, and it was a good meditation session. So that's something you may want to consider. Some people say that perhaps the veil is less or something during those moments or on that day or something. I don't know if that's true or not, right? All I can say is I had a decent meditation session that day, but wasn't earth shattering either, but it was enjoyable. So just something to consider. But as far as the whole doom and gloom and state of emergency, total joke, nothing to take seriously. So I wanted to now head into some interesting news clips just for fun. So let me just get these queued up. Hopefully I always tend to screw this up, but let's hopefully we'll get it done. All right, here. Where the heck are we? There we are. Okay, let's find the first set of clowns. Okay, is this coming up on the screen? All right, cool. Here we go.
For some, the rare solar eclipse is more than just a cosmic event. It's also a spiritual one. Ooh. Historically, solar eclipses have been interpreted in different ways by different religions. Some feel it's a way of divine communication. Others believe it is a sign of God's anger. Eyewitness News stopped by the Cathedral Basilica of Saints Peter and Paul.
It's a sign of God's anger.
It is a sign of God's anger. Eyewitness News stopped by the Cathedral Basilica of Saints Peter and Paul this morning to ask some local churchgoers what they think about it.
I think every day is, we can look at God's creation and really marvel at the beauty of it and the wonder of it. Basically, God brings light into the world, and though this darkness occurs for a little bit of time, light continues and goes forth from there.
Oh, here I am talking and I'm muted. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. It's God's light, and all this stuff about, God's beautiful creation and light. It just, it never ends. Like one of those phrases, we've talked about it a lot, right? The light at the end of the tunnel. The light at the end of the tunnel. I don't think there is a being on Earth that doesn't know that phrase and has known that phrase for probably most of their existence since probably very young. It's one of those phrases that sticks around. So the whole light op being pushed here on Earth is very telling. So remember, God is angry. He's upset. I'm sorry. I got to rewind this one because it's hilarious.
Look up Saints Peter and Paul this morning to ask some local churchgoers what they think about it.
I think every day is, we can look at God's creation and really marvel at the beauty of it and the wonder of it. Basically, God brings light into the world, and though this darkness occurs for a little bit of time, light continues and goes forth from there.
Okay, Sherlock.
Well, just as a reminder, to safely watch the eclipse, you will need a special certified pair of solar eclipse glasses. So be certain that you have those. So CBS News will be broadcasting a live special report.
All right, good for you. It's just... let's see. Hold on. Okay, this one's a beauty. This one's a beauty. Hold on. First, the freaking outfit.
Indiana State Police Sergeant Glenn Fifield joins us this morning with what they're expecting. And so first, we understand in the state of emergency, Sergeant Fifield, that all officers, even if they're detectives, have been called to the street in anticipation of this.
Yeah, that's right. Everybody that we have that is sworn personnel that wears a uniform at some point in time will be out working that day. As you said, the governor declared a state of emergency.
I like how he says at some point in time. Does that mean like the retired officers are, everyone who's retired has got to like get out of bed that day and go, hustle their ass to like some sort of station for the eclipse? I know it's probably not happening like for the retirees, but it's funny.
Uniform at some point in time will be out working that day. As you said, the governor declared a state of emergency. We're not the only state that did that, but it's just in preparation for the literally hundreds of thousands of folks that we're anticipating coming into our state on Monday.
And I understand that we have a demonstration for folks that
wait
you
till you
and
see.
your wife prepared very carefully.
Yes, a lot of work went into this. We don't want to be a spoiler here, but
Okay.
to show what's going to happen on Monday.
Okay,
make
I
sure you
brought
put
my
your glasses on.
Okay,
Here we
'cause
go.
I mean, really, one of the things that just drove me nuts about the news is how they talk to us like we're like just complete morons, like we're little children, like we're 3 years old and are complete morons, like we know nothing about life and this and that. Okay, so let's see a demonstration about what happens during the eclipse. Okay, get your glasses on, and we're going to put up these
We're
little...
here, but it's,
Okay.
to show what's
props.
going to happen on Monday.
Okay, I
make sure you
brought my
put your glasses on.
Okay,
Here
because
we
I
go.
don't want my
Sorry.
retinas to get burned.
Correct. Make
Because I
sure
need
you
to
have-
read. I
Look at
can
that
see nothing
outfit.
with these
What
on.
in the
Right, because
hell?
they're
Hopefully I
like
do this
welder's
right. Okay.
glasses.
Yes, I'm going to keep my.
I got to put my glasses on too here.
Well, you're not going to be able to see anything. I'm telling you that right now.
I'm going to guess here. So at about 10 to 1
Yes.
Central Time, we're going to have the moon start to do the eclipse here. And about an hour into it, you're going to get
Can
the
you
full
believe
eclipse.
this shit?
And then it's going to pass
you
on.
Okay,
So
and Mike-
hopefully we didn't ruin it for everybody there.
No, hopefully we didn't. Mike Kaplan is cringing, by the way. He's like interviewed people from
Yeah,
NASA
we
and
are
we're
too.
using
We are
foam
too.
and felt. He said he loves it. Okay. Okay, but in all seriousness here, we talked about everybody being called in. What advice do you have for people who want to either get to work that day or come to Indiana and see the eclipse? We have a list of some things to prepare for.
Yeah, absolutely.
right,
You definitely want to
prepare.
start your day with a full tank of gas.
Okay, guys, it's serious time, all right? Batten down the hatches. Shit's about to get real. Okay, let's be careful. Let's get now it's serious time.
Things to prepare for.
Yeah, absolutely. You definitely want to start your day with a full tank of gas. Prepare like you're driving in winter weather. Have snacks, extra water with you, and if that gas tank, don't let it get all the way down on empty before you stop to fill up, because
The world could end. We do not want you without gas. Get that gas early.
we're expecting a lot of traffic. And
Yeah, you don't want to get stuck in it.
Absolutely. You don't want to be stranded on the side of the road trying to get gas, because as you saw in those photographs of what happened out west in 2017, the traffic when folks were leaving that event was overwhelming.
Okay, so don't plan on getting anywhere.
All right, so boo-hoo. Some people, didn't have enough gas. Common sense, humanity, common sense. You make sure you have enough gas. That's it. It's that simple. You make sure if you're expecting like an influx of populace into a certain area, you prepare accordingly. It's that simple. It's not the end of the world. And guess what? If you run out of gas, don't worry, you'll get towed. You'll be able to call AAA or figure out some sort of something. It's not like it's the apocalypse, for Christ's sake.
Fast. That's another tip. And also, this is actually one that I put in there because I assumed it's what would happen. Emergency response times, I assume, are going to be delayed if you call 911 because the roads might be clogged.
Absolutely.
The phone lines are going to be clogged, everybody. Batten down the hatches. If Granny's going to die. That's it. Granny, I'm sorry, Granny. That's it.
Going to be delayed if you call 911 because the roads might be clogged.
Absolutely. That's what happened out west in Wyoming,
just
and
nuts.
that's why we're asking folks specifically not to stop on the side of the road when this eclipse begins, because if folks stop on the side of the road, block that emergency shoulder, first responders won't be able to get to scenes of crashes, emergencies, medical emergencies, whatever the case might be. So please don't stop on the side of the road. Stop at a safe location, an exit, or whatever the case might be, but not on the side of the interstate.
Okay.
That's not where you want to be stopping.
And interestingly enough, some studies have been done on this, and certain crimes tend to increase during the eclipse. Let's go through some of those.
Yeah, so they did a study out west, and they noticed that drug use went up during the last eclipse in 2017.
Okay, drug use goes up probably because people are taking it off for the eclipse. So, hey, might as well spark a bowl or whatever they consider drug use. Domestic violence and road rage.
They tested the water, the sewage, and found that.
Tested
But
the
some domestic occurrences took
Wait,
place.
what did he say?
The sewage in 2017. They tested the water, the sewage, and found that. But some domestic occurrences took place.
Can you believe that? He's claiming that to... He's claiming that they tested the sewage supply after the previous eclipse and noticed that there was an uptick in drug use. So that's how they know. That's how they know. It's like, couldn't have to do with that, more people are going to take off that day. Now, what is interesting, before we continue with this amazing lecture of knowledge and gnosis of all humanity, is that, like, when the full moon happens, like, I've spoken with nurses, spoken with some ER doctors, and I'm sure many of you have heard it. I mean, it's pretty well documented. When the moon is full, or like within a few days of approaching a full moon, and then like that moment after, like leading into it and right after a few days, there is an uptick in crime. There's an uptick in craziness, like at hospitals and jails and prisons and all that stuff. Like it just, the crazy seems to come out. So this was kind of always like a curiosity of mine in relation to eclipses. But to be honest, the first part seems pretty, I would say it's not the most reliable. That's all. Like, you have to give me something a little more than that. But the domestic violence thing and the road rage, let's see the data on that one.
And found that, but some domestic occurrences took place, and obviously road rage because of all the traffic on the road, and people just got impatient. So what we're doing is we're asking folks, anybody that is coming into the state, if you're going to an event, don't be in any hurry to leave. Stay at your event as long as you possibly can. Let traffic flow, and
Let it flow.
Leave when traffic has dispersed, because as we said, or as I said earlier, with hundreds of thousands of people all going to the same roads, it's going to be overwhelming. It will be. It certainly will be. I know you guys are trying to. It's gonna be overwhelming. We just can't handle it. And by the way, I just want to point this out. I'm sure many of you have already noticed this on dash cams or police cam. Hold on, let me try to get his. Okay, look at the logo of the, like, you see the black thing on the right underneath his badge, underneath the pocket. You see the pyramid shape? I find it absolutely fascinating that, well, not fascinating because it's not surprising, but that's the shape of all of these transponders universally across the United States. I can't speak for other countries, but isn't it just amazing that just so happens to be the logo or the symbol for police body cams? It's incredible. And if you watch any of the body cam footage, at the top right, you see this logo or this symbol, and the date and the time and yada yada yada.
Prepare as best you can. And if you want to be out with a Sergeant Fifield, not necessarily on Monday, but maybe a little later on, you guys are hiring. We are. Go to indianatrooper.com and you can do exciting things like the eclipse. You can go to the Indianapolis 500. You can work details there. But yeah, we're hiring, and we're always looking for.
You could do some exciting stuff, like you can be a policeman at the eclipse in the Indy 500. Sign me up, boys. Let's go. I mean, it's just...
applicants, and our application process is open till the end of the month. So, yeah, indianatrooper.com.
And I know Glenn doesn't want me to,
guys.
Sergeant Fifield doesn't want me to bring this up, but Indiana troopers voted the most attractive in the country by a recent publication. So, you know, if you feel like you fit the bill, maybe you should go to that website. What is it one more time?
Oh, I got put on the spot. IndianaTrooper.com.
All right, thank you, Sergeant Fifield.
Thank
you so much for always being a friend of Fox 32.
Yeah, thanks, Sergeant Fifield. It's just, I mean, it's just clown show from start to finish. I mean, that one's a beauty, isn't it? I probably should have started off the stream with that video because probably lost people. I mean, that one just draws you in, right? It's just like, holy shit. Indiana police voted the sexiest in the United States. Oh my Lord. Oh, that's a beauty. That's a beauty. All right. Okay, let's get serious. Get serious. No more laughing.
Total solar eclipse now just 12 days away. Police are planning for a major influx of traffic in central Indiana. They expect it to peak right before and after the moon blocks the sun on the afternoon of April 8th.
Today, our Rich and I talked to Metro and State Police about how they're preparing to keep the roads safe and to keep traffic moving.
Isn't that cute?
These were some of the scenes during the last total solar eclipse in 2017.
Oh my God, look
in
at
Wyoming, bumper-to-bumper traffic for miles. In Kentucky, a 9-hour exit backup when everyone wanted to leave after the eclipse.
We contacted other cities who had this event previously to find out what issues they had so we can help be prepared. And some of the biggest issues that we're expecting is traffic. So we're asking people to get somewhere.
I'm not reading from a script, guys. I'm not reading from a script, I promise. This is organic conversation.
Prepared. And some of the biggest issues that we're expecting is traffic. So we're asking people to get somewhere early, plan to be there early, plan to stay late. We want people to have extra water, food, full tank of gas in the event that there are traffic backups.
The path of totality cuts across.
I mean, just look. I mean, they can't even put real images of traffic. This is all CGI. It's not even real. Look at this. I mean, sure. I mean, it's probably like the news channel. It's like, oh, this is a rough estimate of what it looks like right now. But I mean, it's just, everything's so freaking fake.
In the event that there are traffic backups.
The path of totality cuts across Indiana. If the weather is clear April 8th, many visitors could make a late decision dash across Indiana's interstates to see the eclipse in prime viewing locations. Police urge people to get where they're going to watch the eclipse in plenty of time, so they're not on the road when the total eclipse starts. But if you are driving at 3:08, don't stop.
Get off the roadway. Get off the road.
This guy kills me. Don't stop. Get off the roadway. Get off the roadway. Listen to me. I am a man of authority, and you will listen, you little American populist scum. I mean, they talk to you like, listen to the way they talk to us. And we're supposed to take this seriously. And look at this clown with the blue jacket. Like, just this whole part is just ridiculous.
Police urge people to get where they're going to watch the eclipse in plenty of time, so they're not on the road when the total eclipse starts. But if you are driving at 3:08, don't stop.
Don't
get off the roadway. Get off the roadway and find some place, again, safe and legal. Don't stop on the interstate because we have signs that say no stopping, standing, or parking.
Indiana State Police have produced a series of videos with the Indiana Department.
We have signs. We have signs. Obey the signs. If you're not listening.
Again, safe and legal. Don't stop on the interstate because we have signs that say no stopping, standing, or parking.
Indiana State Police have produced a series of videos with the Indiana Department of Transportation giving people tips on how to prepare before, during, and after the eclipse to avoid problems and best enjoy this rare cosmic event.
We're the crossroads of America, and we know that the target is in our state on Monday, April 8th. And we welcome that, and we're looking so forward to that. So all these organizations around the state that have events planned, there's a lot to see and do. Come and take it in. Do it safely, do it responsibly.
The message is
do it safely and do it responsibly. You you freaking cretin.
Arrive early, stay put, leave late. In Indianapolis, Rich Knight, 13 News.
It's just...
Thanks, Rich. INDOT is also suspending...
I mean, it's just unbelievable. It just never ends. All right, let's, oh yeah, this is another one. The cicadas. The cicadas are, look at what we're dealing with. This is your beautiful news department of ABC 7, Eyewitness News, wherever they are. Oh my God. This is the brainwashing. Okay, so just so you know, the cicadas are coming for the first time in 200 years. Some trillion cicadas. And oh my Lord, guys, this is like, ramping up the religious folk on a scale that has never been seen. So, all right, are you ready? Be afraid. This is kind of like remember the killer wasp or whatever the hell they were? The killer hornets. Remember the killer hornets during the whole thing that happened, and we were, they tried to keep us inside and all that crap. Well, this is again. We got some killer cicadas coming too. Well, they're not killers, but...
A surge of cicadas is expected here this spring, more than we've seen in over 200 years. Two groups of the insects called the Great Southern Brood and the Northern Illinois Brood emerged at the same time in late April. Scientists tell us 16 states in the Midwest and Southeast will be buzzing with about 1 trillion cicadas.
Holy moly.
It's a rare event that will last about 6 weeks.
That doesn't sound fake at all. That doesn't sound like something she read from a script. Holy moly. Guys, if I ever talk like that on this channel, please unsubscribe. Holy moly.
1 trillion cicadas.
Holy moly.
It's a rare event that will last about 6 weeks. When the hordes of male cicadas start humming to find a mate, the noise can be even louder than a plane.
Shut it down, ladies. Shut it down.
Shut it down.
This dual surge won't happen again for another 221 years.
I have a core memory about cicadas.
Yeah?
I was a kid. I was probably like 7, and my family was camping, and how many of us were there? 6 of us were in one tent, and I woke up in the middle of the night, and something was crawling on my neck.
Ooh.
And I just remember grabbing it and throwing it across the tent and freaking out and never sleeping again.
And it was a cicada?
Ever. I think it was. It was huge. It was so big.
Probably a roach.
I just don't do well with creepy, crawly things.
A lot of noise. I didn't know this was a thing,
cringy.
Tracy.
So think of it as a big family reunion.
Oh.
They're all
I don't want to go to that one either.
I know. I don't want to be invited to this family reunion. I'm actually worried about them covering the ground and my dogs eating them. So I don't know, is it extra protein or what? But yeah, you're going to be hearing a lot more about that. Yeah, we'll be doing more coverage about that story, especially when it gets loud.
Especially when it gets loud. Stay tuned. We're going to scare the shit out of you. These cicadas are coming, and they're going to eat your children and your dogs.
Cicadas.
They're very noisy.
They're a part of life in North Carolina.
Kind of like a hissing sound.
They're very like...
But this year, residents in the Southeast and Midwest should brace themselves for a season unlike any other.
This is so
kind of
scary.
Almost deafening.
With billions of cicadas emerging at the same time.
Billions.
You'll look in the ground where they're coming up will just be pock-marked with holes, maybe 15 or 20 per square foot some places.
They're coming from the inner earth to take over everybody.
NC State entomology professor Clyde Sorensen
We love it.
is counting the days.
I've been looking forward to this for the last 4 years.
Sorensen.
Oh my God, I just thought of something. Klaus Schwab is got to be drooling in his pants over this. He's got to be wearing that outfit. Remember that freaking crazy ass outfit he had? The Dr. Evil outfit. He's got to be like, oh yes, the cicadas. We can finally feed the peasant humans underneath our thumb, and they will like it.
Robertson says 2 broods of red-eye flying cicadas will emerge from the ground in April.
When the soil temperature about 8 inches down gets to be about 64 degrees, they're going to start coming up. They're just waiting right now.
While they wait, let's explain. There are 7 different species of cicadas which are in the same family as stink bugs and bed bugs. They live in burrows until they're mature enough to surface.
You notice how they threw in bed bugs there? Stink bugs and bed bugs.
Family as stink bugs and bed bugs. They live in burrows until they're mature enough to surface.
Those are trigger
and it's all
words.
to find a mate. 3 species surface every 17 years, the rest every 13, but rarely every 221 years, 2 broods emerge at the same time.
The brood that occurs here in North
They,
Carolina
fly at the
every
screen.
13 years.
Just
At
like
the same time.
The brood that occurs here in North Carolina every 13 years is geographically the biggest one to begin with. And then you tag on
such a
most of the
clown
state
show.
of Illinois on top of it, and it makes it a really huge emergence.
It will be a sight to see and hear.
This kind of wee, 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 but millions of them doing it.
What was it like?
Wee, 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 but millions of them doing it.
One
This
more
kinda
time.
Wee, 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 but millions of them doing it.
Cicadas are known for their
It's
high-pitched
such a
buzz
clown
that can reach
show.
up to 100 decibels.
The males are the ones that are making all the racket, singing. Sounds like he's screaming Pharaoh.
Pharaoh. Pharaoh. First off, it's a pesky male. That freaking masculine energy, not allowed. All right. And it sounds like a pharaoh. Damn, man, we're going deep on this one.
Ones that are making all the racket, singing. Sounds like he's screaming Pharaoh.
Pharaoh, Pharaoh, Pharaoh.
Over and over and over for hours a day until the right lady comes by. The whole point of this, 13 years in the ground, maybe 3 or 4 weeks above ground to find a mate, keep this thing going for another 13 years. It's really a spectacular thing to see.
It's just
Okay, so while the-
do you know, like, there are just certain people that appear during these like matrix events, and you can just tell. There's another video I'm going to play about the eclipse. You can just tell that they have been waiting their entire life to be recognized for some weird ass work that they do, and or be recognized for something, some big interest that they just so happen to fall under the expert category as. And this is their day in the sun. Like, you know, hey, mommy, guess what? I'm on TV. Mommy, I'm on TV. Look at me. I mean, like, it's just unbelievable. They just talk to us like we're complete idiots.
This thing going for another 13 years. It's really a spectacular thing to see.
Okay, so while their mating call may be annoying, scientists say cicadas are actually harmless to humans. They do not sting or bite, and they are not poisonous. They may be damaging to young trees, though, especially if females lay their eggs in one.
Oh.
So to better protect a tree, the EPA suggests covering it with mesh or netting with 1/4 inch holes or small.
Oh yeah, I'll be outside, you know, netting my trees. Like, they're not harmless. They're not going to harm the children. They're not going to harm you. But protect your trees. I mean, look, I like trees. I'm not going to lie. Like, so perhaps, like, if I saw like an invasion or something, I may put a little effort into something like this, because trees are cool, right? I mean, they're nice for your yard. But at the same time, like, it just, the amount of fear that's being projected in this piece, and the last piece, and how this all links to the eclipse, because these cicadas, the 7 species, are just so happening to appear in April, right when the eclipse is happening. It's just, oh my God, revelations initiate. Like, it's It's unbelievable.
Tree, the EPA says
So remember,
they do not sting
they're
or
super
bite, and
noisy.
they are not poisonous.
They're
They
not
may
poisonous.
be damaging to young trees,
They
though,
don't
especially if
sting.
females lay their eggs in one. So to better protect a tree, the EPA suggests covering it with mesh or netting
Wow.
with 1/4 inch holes or smaller. You can also wrap the branches in cheesecloth to keep cicadas away. But remember, they're not
cheesecloth.
harmful to humans or any flowers or fruit. They only consume sap just to stay alive. And by the way, pesticides do not work on cicadas. And
You know how many trees don't sap? They feed on sap. I mean, you know how many trees actually don't have sap? I mean, I don't think it's many. I really don't. So this like is a very, very small amount of impact on the tree population. But we got to make sure we're protecting the environment, right, guys? Wink, wink.
Sap just to stay alive. And by the way, pesticides do not work on cicadas. And remember, this is a historic event.
What a shame. Roundup, the cancer-causing beauty of life, doesn't work on these things. Oh, shucks. Oh, man, and I was just about to go to Lowe's and grab me some Roundup and spray the shit out of my trees.
Next co-emergence of these broods will not happen for another 221 years.
All right, so basically, when the news appears again in 221 years, we will be ready. It's just, isn't this nuts? It's just, all right, so, okay, so let me just scroll up here, just to show you, why does it look like that? God damn it. All right. Okay, here's CBS the Sunday Morning 2024 eclipse, what to expect from the awe-inspiring to the quote-unquote very strange.
Grab those glasses. David Pogue has a sneak preview of tomorrow's Great American Eclipse.
Tomorrow's total eclipse of the sun won't be any
Tomorrow's total eclipse of the sun.
Old eclipse.
This one is being referred to as the Great American.
Oh, okay. So remember how I was talking about like how there are just people who come out in life and this is their big moment. This is their big moment to tell mommy that they're on TV. And this is another example. So we had the cicada guy, and now we have him. Like, so all these eclipses, like, this is your guy. Like, CBS Sunday Morning is like, okay, let's reach out to this guy and get the lowdown.
Eclipse. And the reason is it's going through some very populated areas.
Look at this guy on the left.
Areas of the United States. We're in this area where 60 to 70%.
Astronomy author and educator Ed Ting says that in a solar eclipse, the moon passes exactly between your eyes and the sun and casts its shadow on the Earth.
And the shadow is only about 100 miles wide. So you have to be in a specific place on the Earth to witness the solar eclipse.
Solar eclipses actually take place every 18 months or so, but during most of them, the spectacle is wasted on empty ocean. But tomorrow afternoon, the moon's shadow will leave 32 million Americans in 15 states briefly in the dark. It's all the result of a freakish cosmic coincidence. When we see the photo...
A cosmic coincidence? No, it just happened freaking, 7 years ago. I mean, I saw it. I mean, I was in an amazing location for the last one. But, it doesn't happen that often, but, like a coincidence? Come on. It's just the way the Matrix works. This is Matrix programming. It's like part of the simulation. Like how you can predict, or how we can predict, moon cycles and eclipses to the T, shows you that we're in a simulated reality, in a clown show simulated reality. It proves it. So people say, "Oh, how do you know you're wearing some sort of matrix?" Well, this is your proof. It's not some godly creation. No, it's just the matrix.
52 million Americans in 15 states, briefly in the dark. It's
In
all
the
the
dark.
result of a freakish cosmic coincidence.
When we see the photos,
freakish.
we see this perfect black
Look at
disk,
this
that's
guy.
the moon, and then we see that corona of sunlight around it. How does it happen that the
How does it happen?
and then we see that corona of sunlight around it? How does it happen that the sun and the moon appear to be exactly the right size for each other?
Exactly. This guy's a trip.
How does it happen that the sun and the moon appear to be exactly the right size for each other?
It's interesting the way eclipses happen because, and you will freak out. You can understand why the ancients ascribed such spiritual or religious significance to eclipses because you will feel very strange. Half of the people who see an eclipse for the first time will cry.
If you live in the path of the eclipse, you may notice one more effect: a lot more traffic.
Our town will grow twice its size, which means 160,000 people might be in town for the which means 160. Thousand people might be in town.
Oh, that's the wrong one. That's too fast. Hold on, I'm sorry. I'm not good with this stuff.
Town for the eclipse, and we're very excited about it.
Yes. Okay, maybe I screwed it up. I'm sorry. I'll stop.
Carrie White is the chairman of the Eclipse Oversight Committee for Jonesboro, Arkansas, where the moment of totality.
Let's take a look at that shirt.
Eclipse Oversight Committee for
the Eclipse Oversight Committee. Ooh, that sounds serious. I like how it's got like matrix lettering, huh? That's good.
Jonesboro, Arkansas, where the moment of totality, complete blockage of the sun, will last 2 minutes, 17 seconds.
Our police department, our fire department, City Water and Light, they've all been working for over a year to design a plan.
On April 8th, park your ride, protect your eyes, and look at the sky.
There are a total of 4 spots where you can view the eclipse.
There are Carrie Whites all over the country.
Everywhere, all over the country, that are doing exactly what I've been doing. It's a big, big deal.
Looking directly at the sun can permanently damage your vision, which is why you need eye protection.
Dude, they put up a freaking monument. You gotta be kidding me.
We ordered 75,000 pairs of glasses, and we have been working for weeks to pass them out to all the schools. We've passed them out at all of the major businesses, the library, the city hall. If you don't have a pair of glasses and you live in Jonesboro, I don't know how to help you. And you live in Jonesboro,
Well, I mean, this guy kills me. Look at, I mean, oh, it's so exciting. It's so exciting.
don't know how to help you.
But here's something about the glasses you might not know.
Once totality hits, you can take the glasses off.
Oh, why is that?
Yeah, because there's not much light coming from the sun. Once the sun starts to come out again, the first eclipse, photograph your second. And I have seen this personally, where there is an eclipse and the person is not looking up, they're fiddling with their camera, and then before you know it, the eclipse is gone. You never saw it, and you didn't get the picture.
Of course, all the precautions in the world won't help you if the conditions aren't right.
I have to bring up the W word. What happens if it's cloudy and the weather is bad?
I guess I'll cry.
Wait, what happened here? Hold
Don't
on.
talk to me about the bad stuff.
Wait, did you lose the... I'm sorry. Hold on.
If it's cloudy and the weather is bad.
I guess I'll cry. Don't talk to me about the bad stuff.
Fortunately, it's mostly good stuff.
When you consider that this truly is the Great American Eclipse because it goes through the center of the United States, it just puts you in awe. I just know that it's going to be wonderful, and I'm going to take it all in. Every second of my 2 minutes, I'm going to take in and enjoy.
Well, all right, guys. So it's just been... It really... I mean, it's just... I hope we're all excited. What did I miss here? Hold on. We did the spiritual meeting. Oh, you know what? I haven't watched this one. Okay, but like, I just want to give you an example. Like, so I was trying to find the clip I had mentioned at the very beginning of the stream about the religious organization that was pushing doom and gloom and fear, which, mind you, they were one of probably hundreds, if not thousands, of channels pushing this stuff. The New Age is capitalizing off of this. Some of the NDE channels that I've covered on my channel are doing the same thing. All right, and they're saying, "Oh, well, you know, eclipse warnings and this and that, and make sure you listen to this video in order to be prepared for the eclipse," and blah blah blah. Like, you know, all the predictions and links to revelations, and I mean, it never ends. It never ends. So let's just take a look at some of the video titles. I know it doesn't look great on screen, but I'm gonna click a video shortly. Doom, bringing solar eclipse in the world's religions. It's all happening on April 8th. The solar eclipse info that they're not talking about. Click me, click me, click me. Should we fear the eclipse? Mondo Gonzalez. Oh, and Sadhguru. Warning, warning. Don't do this mistake during the lunar eclipse. Moon, Sadhguru. And this, I'm not even going to get into him. Everyone was excited about the eclipse until they heard this prophecy. Is there a prophetic meaning to the coming eclipse? Solar eclipse 2024, you've been warned. The April 8th solar eclipse, a prophetic warning. From God to America, solar eclipse prophecy 2024. The truth about the eclipse and the coming 3 days of darkness. And this channel's title is Truth Unedited. Oh, how convenient. Truth Unedited. Sounds like a very reliable channel, doesn't it? I mean, we can go on and on and on. 2024 eclipse, a Space Force project. Joe Rogan stunned by insane end times prophecy. And it all has to do with the eclipse. Does the upcoming solar eclipse on April 8th, 2024 have anything to do with this end times prophecy on the Joe Rogan show? It's just... See, like this, I do like the title of this video, though. Breaking Eclipse Occult Rituals. That sounds good. I don't know who that person is. I'm not endorsing his channel or anything to do with him, but I like the title of that video. I'm sure the rituals are out of control. But, okay. I mean, like the whole thing with the end time stuff. It's nothing new. Happens all the time. All right, so let's move along. And we're going to wrap things up. So I want to end things on a funny note with America's worst mayor. I don't know if any of you have gone down this rabbit hole, but it's wild. Wild. So like to give like this video is a taste of what's to come with the Clown World channel that I have. I'm really holding back on a lot of things I wanted to say. But if you would like to check out whenever I start streaming on the Clown World channel, it's going to be exclusive to Odyssey and Rumble only. I'm not even going to entertain going down that road on YouTube. So if you'd like to join, check the description tab. Odyssey is a preferred platform, but Rumble's great too. So feel free to check out the links if you'd like to join. And at some point, whenever it happens, we'll have some fun and laugh at the Matrix together. All right, but the mayor stuff is just wild. I have so many videos of her saved just for laughs. So
The other big story tonight, maybe the most chaotic meeting yet in troubled South Suburban Dalton.
Nate Rogers sorting out another confrontation involving the mayor, the board, and the public. Nate.
Yeah, guys, this Board of Trustees meeting ended early tonight with 4 trustees actually walking out abruptly. The village clerk left early as well. First, I want to paint a picture of what all we were able to experience. It was very chaotic, and to be quite honest with you, frankly honest with you, it was even scary at times for those of us that were inside of the meeting. There were folks banging on the windows and doors of the village hall. About 100 residents showed up at the meeting tonight, but only 42 residents were allowed inside. They had to walk through metal detectors, and they were wanded down. Before I take you inside of the meeting, I want you to listen to what happened outside first.
But at least the majority of the people in Dalton should be able to think like the mayor does. She's scary. She's absolutely scary.
Why can't we get in our public building to have meetings? Why are meetings being canceled? Why can't we have transparency what's going on with our tax dollars?
Several residents calling on Dalton Mayor and Thornton Township Supervisor Tiffany Hinyard to resign. She's been criticized for mismanaging village funds and dividing the Board of Trustees. The meeting comes amid a sexual harassment and retaliation complaint against Hinyard. A former employee says she was sexually assaulted during a work trip in Las Vegas last year. The complaint says the employee was disoriented and unsure how she woke up inside a village trustee's hotel room. When she woke up about the former employee's claims, when she spoke up, about the claims, she was retaliated against, she says, and later fired. The FBI is now looking into village practices.
You know what happened in Vegas. You know what happened. And you should be addressing it, saying something to the residents about it.
I have cancer. Of course I do. Tiffany stole money from a cancer foundation. How dare you? How dare you steal? And I helped you with your campaign. How dare you steal from us? I had to buy my wigs. Are you going to reimburse me for the wigs that I've been spending my money on?
And they say that you're the worst mayor in America. I agree.
Yeah. Now, no one is in custody and no charges have been filed following that former employee's complaint. Also, the trustee accused was absent from tonight's meeting. Residents said that trustee should resign as well. Residents also wore blue ribbons in support of victims of sexual abuse. Now, back out here live, just a little bit more on background. We've learned that this was the first time that metal detectors were used. The acting police chief saying that they received credible threats even today about this meeting, and that's why folks were taken through metal detectors and wanded down. Again, 4 out of their 6 trustees did leave the meeting early. Mayor Tiffany Hinyard did criticize those Board of Trustees for leaving, saying that she really wanted to accomplish some of the business of the village, and as a result, she was unable to do so. Of course, we'll continue to stay on this story and keep you updated with any new developments on air and online.
I don't know if any of you have been following this whole debacle. It's fascinating. It's one of those Matrix stories. She's been doing this for a few years. Like she charged all sorts of expenses to the village credit card or whatever the heck's going on. She set up like these domes, like under a like on an ice skating rink with this fancy dinner and butlers and all sorts of stuff, and just completely fleecing the village. It's incredible. And it's been going on for a long time. It's not like this just started last month. Like, it's a few years. And all of a sudden, the FBI is looking into her. It's incredible. So I'm just kind of putting this out there just for like a bonus fun round. So if you're like here for the eclipse stuff's over. But if you want to laugh at the Matrix for a little while, then we'll go a little bit longer and then call it a night with America's most parasitic mayor. Let's see. Just want to try and make sure I got the right one. Oh yeah, the bills go unpaid. But yeah, the whole thing that happened in Vegas was nuts, at least according to reports. But I mean, there's a whole okay, so just to give you guys an idea of the insanity that's going on with this whole story, there is a whole there's a whole board, like a town board or a village board that's involved with her. And they have created their own YouTube channel to expose her clandestinely. I mean, it's that messed up. And then there's a bunch of citizens who like they couldn't get they couldn't get permits to like build stuff, and like their jobs depend on these permits, and this hunk of junk is sitting up there destroying businesses. There was one guy I remember who he lost his whole business because she had some sort of grudge against him, and he had to shut his business down. Like, but this is the type of stuff that goes on all over the place, and it's an amazing encapsulation of how you can do everything right, but if you're not greasing the wheels and you have someone mega corrupt in there, it's not going to make a difference. If you're not donating to their campaign, or if you're not doing this or kissing ass, you're going to get screwed. Let's see. Let's try this one.
How long have you lived in Dalton?
38 years.
Have you ever not been able to get into Village Hall?
One time. Not one time.
Yet another surprise for residents of South Suburban Dalton who now say they can't get into their own village hall. This after some residents were locked out of a village board meeting last night.
The village is blaming safety concerns, but residents are pointing the finger at embattled Mayor Tiffany Hinyard. Tonight, our Dane Placco has the latest controversy from Dalton.
And then I went to reach for the doors. You can't go in. Wait a minute. No offense. Y'all do know this is a government building.
Dalton resident Cheryl Hill used her cell phone to document what happened when she tried to get some paperwork at Dalton's Village Hall last week.
So what you mean? Why people can't come in there? Yeah. Why people can't come in there?
New security procedures went into effect last week, the village says, in response to threats against controversial Mayor Tiffany Hinyard and village employees.
okay, so just to give you an idea.
Threats against
controversial
Mayor Tiffany
Henyard
and Village.
I'm telling you right now, I don't know if there's a video on this, but I've been following this story for probably about a year. And there's no doubt in my mind that she probably charged cosmetic upgrades for her to the village. I'm just saying. It just seems obvious at this point.
Village employees. It used to be the Dalton residents who needed to take care of a bill or a license perhaps would walk in the main entrance right here, and then they would go into this common area where you'd see the service desks back there, but now it's all locked right here.
Okay, let's just make sure that the reporter verifies what's going on. Like, he's on the beat, guys. Are you ready? Are you ready?
Entrance right here, and then they would go into this common area where you see the
happen?
service desks back there, but now it's all locked right here.
Excuse me?
Now residents have to talk to a security guard behind a window in the vestibule and conduct their business in that.
It's in the vestibule. Yes, it's in the vestibule, just so you know.
To a security guard behind a window in the vestibule and conduct their business in that small, cramped area.
Young lady showed up earlier this morning, went in, and was totally upset. She had no idea that she could not go into the building, just the foyer, had to do her paperwork standing outside in the rain.
We are being treated as the resident, I say we, as though we were in prison in our own town.
Well, you
in
are.
a place where we pay taxes.
I'm sorry, miss, but you have no idea how deep the prison really goes.
That message of exclusion amplified last night when about 25 Dalton residents were locked out of a village board meeting as those inside blasted Henyard during public comment.
I wouldn't trust this woman if she stood on a stack of Bibles and had her tongue notarized. Not a damn thing she says comes out her mouth.
Had her tongue notarized. That's a good one. I like that. I wouldn't trust her on a stack of Bibles, and if she had her tongue notarized. That's a good one. I like that. I wouldn't. You can't trust this Dalton mayor for anything. I like that. Her tongue notarized. That's good. I like that.
Blasted Henyard during public comment.
I wouldn't trust this woman if she stood on a stack of Bibles and had her tongue notarized.
That's
Not a
so
damn
good.
thing
I
she
love
says
it.
comes out her mouth is true.
The meeting ended early when 4
tell her.
opposition trustees walked out, saying there was ample room for the crowd, and refusing entry to all would violate the Illinois Open Meetings Act.
The meeting was adjourned because we have to have enough space. So we have to. The Open Meetings Act requires that that we have enough space for everybody to get in.
As you just saw.
Yeah, just so you know, the open meeting has nothing to do with the corrupt mayor. It has to do with security concerns. It has nothing to do with the inherent corruption of the village and this insane mayor that's destroying lives, but it's out of public safety.
Open Meetings Act.
The meeting was adjourned because we have to have enough space. So we have to. The Open Meetings Act requires that that we have enough space for everybody to get in.
As you just saw, is chaos amongst our 4 trustees. They didn't come here to handle the business. They came here to do a political theater stunt, which you just saw.
As for the decision to lock the doors on Village Hall, a Henyard spokesperson blames, quote, threats of violence as a result of the continuous misinformation portrayed by the media and internet bloggers who are using Dalton as a means to generate ratings and revenue.
Unbelievable. I'm telling you guys, I've been following this for over a year. This Mayor Tiffany is so freaking corrupt and blatant about it. It's not even funny. It's off the charts. And there's a record 100 miles long for the stuff that she's doing against her village. It's sick. The fact that you can have someone who's like, I remember there was a business owner. Maybe I mentioned this, but there was a business owner who had I don't know, like a car repair shop or like a a car wreck business or something, like where they, they take in the cars and, they sell the scrap or something. And he couldn't get his permit renewed. She denied it. And I don't remember what the reason was, but this guy raised a big stink about it. And they iced him out, and he couldn't afford to run his business anymore. And so as a result, he had to shut down his business. I mean, that's just one example. One example. I wish I could find like the one with where she's where she has like all her like big wigs like on an ice skating rink with these little inflatable huts and like a 5-course dinner. And it's I mean, I'll try and find it, but I mean, I got to wrap things up soon, but this is like the epitome of corruption. And it's just a small village. It's nothing, she's like raiding the treasury up, down, left, and right, and refusing individuals who don't support her for a simple license for their business.
Internet bloggers who are using Dalton as a means to generate ratings and revenue.
Internet bloggers.
Our staff and elected officials have received several disturbing communications via emails, social media, phone calls, and visitors from across the country. As such, our security protocols have changed. But residents we talked to believe the mayor is hiding behind a security threat to keep them out of her business.
No shit.
Because she have a lot of things she have to hide. She have to account for the money that's been spent.
In Dalton, Dane Placco, Fox 32 Chicago.
Well, thanks. All right, I'll play one more, and then I gotta head out. But I mean, she's just unbelievable. So again, like if you want more of this, you want to like have some laughs and shit, and laugh at the Matrix and the insanity that ensues. Check the description tab for the Laughing at the Matrix. It's going to be on Odyssey and Rumble only. So feel free to swing by, and streams will start probably in the next few months. Although I did say that last year and never started, so I don't know. I'd rather be honest with you guys and just say whenever it happens, it happens. But I'll be sure to let you know. All right. So let's see. Heated. Okay, here we go. All right, so we got a heated board meeting.
Sparks fly inside a packed village hall in South Suburban Dalton.
That's some nice symbolism right there. I wonder if she's going to join her thumbs. She loves that, right?
Dalton. Residents confronting embattled Mayor Tiffany Henyard. They say they want answers about Henyard, an unnamed village trustee, and a controversial trip to Las Vegas last May. NBC5's Regina Waldrop in Dalton tonight with the story.
It was a packed village board meeting, but there were still people outside who could not get in. They were banging on doors, windows, chanting, and with that in mind, 4 trustees abruptly walked out, and this meeting was adjourned.
I'm still speaking. You're out of order, clerk. You out of order.
I'm still speaking. You're out of order.
Was adjourned.
I'm still speaking. You're out of order, clerk. You out of order.
In Dalton Monday night, a chaotic village board meeting. It got underway an hour late because of a credible threat, according to police. Only a limited number of residents were let into the building, and they had to pass through a metal detector. Those who were not let in protested outside. A short time later, the meeting abruptly ended when 4 trustees walked out.
The Open Meetings Act requires that that we have enough space for everybody to get in. Because of that, I feel we have a lot of outrage going on out there, and we want to be able to provide the space to people that they are looking for.
This is the residents' home, and anytime you can't come in, it's a problem.
During public comment, a number of residents outraged because of the alleged misuse of village funds, lawsuits, and other issues called on the mayor to step down.
We don't want you here. You or your administration. Y'all need to go.
Mayor, you might as well step down too. Because I'm tired of that too. This is a disgrace that you have done
to this village.
Embattled Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard and a village trustee who's not named are at the center of an investigation by the Illinois Department of Human Rights. The probe is focused on what allegedly happened on an economic development trip to Las Vegas last May. Henyard's former assistant,
quote unquote, an economic development trip to Vegas. An economic development trip to Vegas. This is the it's just economic development.
what allegedly happened on an economic development trip to Las Vegas last May. Henyard's former assistant who filed this complaint claims she was sexually assaulted by an unnamed Dalton trustee on that trip. She claims she was then later fired from her job. In a statement, the village told NBC5 it conducted a thorough investigation into the allegations led by an independent third-party company. The statement goes on to say this is nothing more than a disgruntled village employee trying to make off with the taxpayers' hard-earned dollars. The village board meeting continued on for a little while with only the mayor and one trustee in attendance. April 8th, that's when they hope this meeting will resume. Reporting from Dalton, I'm Regina Waldrop, NBC5 News.
Regina, thank you.
Thank you,
I am
Regina.
a wife. I'm a mother of 3 children. My children and my family are suffering because of this loss. And Dalton police, the detectives, have been sitting around twiddling their fingers on this case. This is hurtful. When I've been in contact, I've been asking questions. I've been in contact with the state's attorney's office. I'm pushing this case. I've had the Crime Stoppers come out to do additional work canvassing the neighborhood, to assist the police, and nothing has been done. My husband, Tavares Edward Davis, deserves justice. Thank you.
All right. Is it one more? All right. Thank you for your public comment. Next on the agenda is general announcements. Do anybody have any general announcements?
Yes, Mayor.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. I hear a lot of the outrage, and I think a lot of it is just around having a space that can accommodate. And I'm concerned also that there may be some violations of Open Meetings Act because we need to have a space when we know that there's this many people. As such, I'm going to make a motion that we postpone this meeting and continue the agenda to Monday, April 8th, a week from today at 6:30, Dalton Park District 14700 Evers. So that is my motion.
Trustee? Second. We are not postponing a meeting. We are Did you get my second, clerk? And basically, we have 2 items on the agenda. So we can basically continue with our meeting and get through the 2 items that's on the meeting. So my advice to the board is we are already here. Let's handle the business and not let the business handle you guys. We're not having no meeting at no Dalton Park District. So I'm just making that crystal clear. Clerk, what are you doing? You out of order. You out of order. Did I call the roll? Did I say call the roll? I'm still speaking. You're out of order, Clerk Key. You out of order, Clerk Key. Like, stop. Y'all out of order. Everybody want to run stuff. Y'all don't run this house over here. Stop, please. So, as I was stating, we need to continue with the business. We are here. People came to a meeting to hear we have been doing in our village. The department heads, the lawyer, everyone's here. So I'm asking for you guys to sit here and to deal with what's going on.
Trustee Tammy
And that's the problem that we have. Now, wonder why we have dysfunction? This is the reason. So if y'all walk out, y'all walk out. We got business to handle.
We got business.
Okay. All right, so go ahead.
We got business as long as it doesn't imply that I'm corrupt.
Handle your business and we gonna handle ours.
That's so sad. Like everybody's getting up.
No, to let y'all out. Let you out.
Power to the people. Power to the
It was adjourned because we have to have enough space. So we have to. The Open Meetings Act requires that that we have enough space for everybody to get in. Because of that, I feel we have a lot of outrage going on out there, and we want to be able to provide the space to people that they are looking for.
All right, so it's too much outrage, and the people should not be doing this. They should not be, you know, pushing back against daddy village government.
Monday, May 8th. Monday, April 8th, 6:30 p.m., Dalton Park District. Yes. Well, we're trying to listen to the outcries of residents, and I think it's very disappointing.
we're trying to be receptive to the outcry of the residents, and I promise you, everything's going to be just fine.
Yes.
Everyone's frustrated at the moment. You're violating the ordinances. You're violating the residents' rights. They deserve. This is their house. This is the residents' home. And anytime you can't come in, it's a problem. Can you say Brittany Norwood, B-R-I-T-T-N-E-Y, Norwood, N-O-R-W-O-O-D. Thank you.
I like the font. Meanwhile, outside, ... No camera. All right, so you kind of get the point. It's a clown show. It's a total joke. And gonna wrap things up. So don't be afraid of the BS being pushed about the solar eclipse or any sort of date prediction, because it's always going to be false. Always. And you know what? Eventually, if I'm wrong, then I'll eat my words. But eventually, there's going to be someone out there who makes a correct prediction just by the very fact that there are odds in this reality, right? Someone eventually will predict something with dates and times and yada, 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 and they'll get it right. But I'm telling you that over the course of observing how this matrix functions and the fear mongering that goes on, including some individuals out there who love to push the 2040 or whatever date it is, you know, former shut my mouth, but former yeah. Okay, I'll shut up. But anyways, you get what I'm saying. It's there's just there's no end in sight to this stuff. And the eclipse will come and go, and nothing's going to happen, and everything's going to be fine. Enjoy yourself. Have a good day. Don't get wrapped up into the fear mongering and all that stuff, and enjoy yourself. That's what it's all about. Enjoy yourself. Or stay inside and do whatever you do, right? I mean, just go about your day and do your thing. All right, we'll catch up soon, my friends, and I'm going to be gone for at least a week or so. And I may try to check in and just do a quick live stream just to please the algorithm. And yeah, so that I can stay, so that the word can get out. Because that's the number one goal, is to share the truth of what's going on in this realm. In my opinion, the truth. But one thing I like to say is, like, it's always important to do your own research, come up with your own conclusions. Don't just take my word for it, but base it on the data, the patterns that you can look at and, in my opinion, prove that this realm is doesn't make sense, that it is some sort of trap that we fall into, some sort of matrix reincarnation soul trap, and that everything is based around us continuing to feed and consent to the illusion. Like, one of the things I've seen thrown around is misconstruing my words about consent. Well, I don't know exactly how everything works. I'm not going to pretend to know how everything works. But the one thing I can say is that when you leave your body, you can prove 100% that you have control, and that this realm, this reality, this whole clown show is based around illusion. I've been messed with, fucked with, up, down, left, and right, and I just don't care anymore. Like, anyone who runs across my content and is interested in learning and exploring what I talk about, cool. But those who want to attack me and make up shit that I don't even say, whatever. I just don't care anymore. I've never really cared. It just is what it is. I mean, when you start talking about things like being a sovereign being, you're going to run up against institutions that want to attack you, that want to target you. When you start to unravel how this whole deception works, there's just no doubt you're going to run up against friction. And so let it be. Whatever happens, happens. I'm not going to fight and argue or try to win any of you over. I'm past that. I don't care anymore. Those who see it, see it. Those who don't. Those who fall into the controlled opposition and try to demoralize everybody, that's just what's going to happen. Like, and that's not something I want to happen. That's not something I hope happens, but it's just the nature of the beast system. So, whatever. I mean, some people spend their lives online and like they care about what every single individual says, but there has to come a point where, you look out for you. And that's what I'm doing for myself. And some may say, oh, that's selfish or this or that. But you know what? The one thing I try to do is meet up once a week or every few weeks or something like that. But I found it interesting how I was attacked on multiple fronts when I talked about my health issues. The timing was quite interesting. And so any of you out there who are part of all this beast system, let it be known that I don't give a fuck anymore. I just don't care. I just don't care. But I'm not going to stay silent and just pretend like it's nothing either. Because at the same time, it's a chess game, right? You have the system that comes and tries to attack you, tries to attack your credibility. Meanwhile, my entire channel is based upon providing evidence in real time from real experiences across multiple experiencer types. The evidence speaks for itself. I don't even need to say anything. I could just sit here and play a video and it should speak for itself. And you should be able to see the deception in real time. You should be able to go outside the body if you want to put in the effort and actually experience something like that and see that you have control. These are things that can be accomplished and proven 100%. 100%. So for those who, love to talk shit and make up things and just slander somebody and say all sorts of stuff, go ahead, have fun. I don't care anymore. And I haven't cared for a while. Like, I don't respond to this stuff that often, but I'm going to briefly respond tonight because I feel it's an injustice for anyone who runs across the soul trap topic in general to not be made aware of how controlled opposition works. Some of you may even have been watching my channel for a number of years, and I did multiple videos on controlled opposition, and even though and how to spot disinfo and spiritual parasites, right? And even though like I've kind of evolved in certain areas of things I've talked about in the past, and we're talking about a while. We're talking about like 6 years ago or something. I mean, I don't know, 5-6 years ago. Like, even though I've evolved on certain things, the premise stays the same. That like if you go up against the system, there's going to be pushback. There's going to be clowns who, like, for instance, like I had a creepy weirdo targeting me for a while with all sorts of baseless accusations. And so, let me just say this right now. I can come on my channel right now and say that, Harold is a child molester. I can do that. I can come on here on the air and just say it. And I'm sorry, Harold. I don't mean to say that, but I'm just trying to make a point that this is the type of stuff that can just be said. And nobody has to provide proof. Nobody has to say anything. And you can just have, people saying shit. And there's always going to be a segment of the population that says, well, this one's a chomo or this one's that. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the insanity of our world. And again, Harold is not a chomo. I'm not a chomo. Like, it's just this is the type of stuff that happens online. It's like a go-to attack narrative that exists online. And Harold, I'm sorry. I shouldn't even have said that, but I'm trying to make a point. I should have just said some fictitious name. But I'm sorry. I'm just trying to say that this is the type of insanity that's out there. Like, and some people are impressionable. Some people just buy into whatever. Some people can just say anything, like chalk body outline. Like the same person who targeted me targeted chalk body outline and just said, hey, I've heard through other people that you're a chomo. And that, this is what others are telling me, so it has to be true, so I'm going to make videos about it and just say it. I mean, this is the type of world we're living in. It's fucking insane. But, at the same time, like, some people just, they're paid, they're lost, they love drama, and all, whatever the case may be. I mean, there's so many different, they're mentally ill and unhinged. I mean, there's so many different reasons that things happen. But, to be honest, this is what happens in this world. There's the time for accountability is just, it's non-existent. So someone could just say something, not prove it, and make up things. And the public, a certain segment of the public will just blindly believe it. Doesn't matter what it is. So anyways, yeah, I mean, I'm sorry to kind of use examples like that, but that's the type of attack that's out there. And the one thing I just want to really, really emphasize is that what I show on this channel is data patterns. And you can look at them, you can hear them, you can see them, and with enough time, enough dedication, you'll see those data patterns too. You'll see the consistency across all types of experiencers. The only exception I would say that is a little off and different are things like coma experiences and breakthrough trips, because drugs are involved. But you still have the tunnel. Sometimes you have the light, you have the deceased loved ones and this and that, but you also have chaos. When someone's in a coma, when someone's having a breakthrough trip, or hasn't launched out of their body, then there's a chance that they're going to say a lot of other shit that doesn't line up with the over 20 other experiencer types that are out there. That like the consistent patterns that, dare I say, are more sober. That doesn't mean that there's still not value behind the coma experiences or the breakthrough trips. It just means that the fact that there is a drug involved and a connection still to the matrix, that it's not as reliable. It's more chaotic. You're more prone to being susceptible to influences or just kind of going along for the ride. And I could say that from personal experience with something like ketamine. I've been on ketamine drips a number of times and experienced that. Like, sometimes you can have good control, sometimes you can't. But that, like, what it's proved to me is that on your deathbed, that you really shouldn't allow yourself to be completely zoned out. You shouldn't allow the look, it doesn't mean you should suffer. It just means that you shouldn't be zonked out completely. That's what it means. So just something to consider. And as far as like the whole clown show goes and the attacks and all that stuff, it's nothing new. I've dealt with it before, but I felt like it's worth mentioning because it's easy to trash somebody online and not have facts behind it. That's it. So just take that into consideration. I'm not saying anyone should just blindly believe me. Like, just listen to what some of these clowns say, these parasites say, and say, hey, where's the evidence? You're just saying something. Well, where's the evidence? Guarantee you they're not going to be able to provide goddamn thing. I had somebody playing me for months, pretending to want to do the right thing, and anyways, I'm not even going to get into that, but it's just when you're involved with this stuff and behind the scenes and see how the government operates and how they attack people, there's nothing that really surprises you at the end. So, but I'm not one to get paranoid and crazy. I'm just talking from experience, flat out experience. And I don't care who believes me. I'm not trying to win over a popularity contest. I just don't care. All I'm trying to say is that these things happen, and you believe me, you believe me. You don't, you don't. If you start making content at some point, I promise you, you'll deal with it. All right. So this is the first and last time I'm ever going to bring that stuff up. And I just think it's important. I just think it's important that everybody knows, and you'll just see a common narrative. Like, all right, one more thing. So an individual who was literally stalking me and has continued to stalk me, and some of you out there, some of you who I'm close with know about this individual. Okay, so there was a channel that started to expose this individual. And then they flipped the script. And then they targeted me. And started making, like, just completely making up shit. With a computer voice and saying, oh, well, FC does this and FC does that. And FC says that we all consent and love to be here. And that, like, you agreed to this and blah, 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 blah. Like, anyone who's been listening to my, I mean, I saw comments talking about this stuff where, like, individuals who were watching my channel for a while, and they're saying, oh, FC never covered NDEs that of people who came back, who didn't want to come back. It was just complete bullshit. I've probably covered 30, maybe more of those NDEs, and talked about my interpretation of how this stuff works. And just to kind of put this out there for those who kind of fall under that category and say, oh, FC doesn't cover NDEs who say, oh, I didn't want to come back. I didn't want to come back. But yet they were, quote unquote, forced to come back. All right. You have to understand, everybody needs to understand this, that the majority of the individuals out there, the vast, vast majority of individuals out there do not understand their power. They do not understand who and what they are and what they're capable of. And they have predispositions based on belief systems that carry over into their experiences. For example, you can believe that Jesus is your savior. You can believe that, you need to meet up with Moses or Buddha or Muhammad or whatever, or grandma or grandpa or mom or dad or the dog or the cat. It doesn't matter. The point is if in every single case, bar none, every single case, they show over and over and over again a predisposition to matrix programming or matrix belief systems, or something that they feel they need to cling on to, aka an attachment. So if someone wants to come along and say, oh, FC says you consent to everything, blah, 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 blah. Well, that's just not true. If you're pointing at me and saying, hey, he doesn't cover cases where someone doesn't want to come back, and it's discussed in conversation with the matrix, which the individual believes in, who has decided to go down the tunnel, stay in the tunnel, go into the light, deal with the life review, or deal with their deceased loved ones or their deities or whoever, game over. That's the cutoff point is right then and there, because the individual who is actively in the experience has consented, regardless of whether it's a knowing consent or not. They have decided that their belief system learned on Earth is accurate and true, and decided to progress forward in that belief system of those deities, of their reuniting with their loved ones or whatever, and decided of their own free will to interact with those beings. Regardless of whether they're real or not, that's not my problem, not your problem. The point is they are moving forward, consenting, deciding to interact, thinking that these things are real, that they are who they claim to be, regardless of whether they are not. Doesn't matter. The point is they are putting their intention in that belief system and then carrying it over. You see the disconnect there? I mean, some of these people act like the entire NDE community is in the know about what's going on here. They're not. They're so far gone and in the weeds of what's happening. It's not even funny. They're lost in the illusion. And that's no fault of their own. It's just the way this realm works. And it just means that the individual who's buying into all this is not aware of their power. 99.9% of the time, I would say as close to 100% as you can get, they are believing in some sort of belief system that is learned on Earth, and then it translates. And remember, everything's customized to the individual in these experiences. Hello. The information's right there in front of your face. But anyone who wants to prove this, I tell every single one who's out there listening, anyone who wants to test what I talk about as far as intention goes, as far as your direction goes, and the powers and the inherent abilities that you're capable of, you want to test it? You really want to test it instead of just saying, oh, FC's full of shit? Work on going outside your body. I'm telling you. I don't need to prove this to myself. I've already proved it to me. Some of you don't need to prove it to you because you've already proved it to yourself. Some of you know. And I'm interested to know in the chat, like how many of you have actually had these experiences where you can will things in and out of your existence with intention, with the snap of your finger, with your whatever, your intention, right? Your frequency, intention. Like it's possible, like on a massive scale. And maybe it's not going to happen the first time you do it or the second time you do it. But there's also like mitigating factors involved when you're first going outside your body. Sometimes you can go outside your body and be overwhelmed at what just happened to you. That's what happened to me a number of times in the early days of going outside my body. You realize that you're weightless. You realize that you don't have any more pain anymore. You don't have the suffering. And that is insanely overwhelming and an incredible experience. Now, maybe not every single individual listening will experience something like that, but it depends on whatever your life script is, whatever your life path is. But I would. There's a lot of talk and a lot of bullshit being flung my way when the solution is simple. Stop being lazy and go outside your body and prove it to yourself. And I'm sorry, I'm just going to say it. I'm not trying to attack anyone. I'm just trying to say, hey, buckle up, do what you need to do, and prove it to yourself. I don't expect anyone to believe what I say. But anyone who goes outside the body and seriously puts in just like a small bit of effort over like a 6 months or a year, you'll get there. I promise you. It'll happen. So make of it what you will, but I'm not bullshitting anyone. I'm just, there just comes a point when you have to address the bullshit. I mean, how you can have individuals out there who, some of them have watched a number of my videos and say, oh, FC never covers people who don't want to come back. I can't even tell you how many I've covered who don't want to come back. But then you hear in their story over and over and over again how they have like religious freaking preconceptions or misconceptions about what life is or what is to be expected in the afterlife. And then based on NDE research or SDE research or Life Between Lives, how everything is based on your belief system. See, it's like, it's easy for people to frame a certain narrative about someone when maybe someone just ran across the information, or maybe certain individuals were kind of half listening and not paying attention and listening to like how this whole thing works and how you can identify it through your own research. Remember, nobody needs my channel. Nobody needs my channel. I've said that over and over again. Like, you can watch a number of videos on my channel and get a general idea of what you need to look out for and what you need to do on your own time to research this stuff and prove it to yourself without me chiming in your ear. Like, I'm sorry, like, I'm not trying to come off like an asshole. I'm not, but at some point when you're attacked, and talk shit, it just gets old, and you just need to clear the air. And this is, I've held back for about 2 years talking about this stuff, but there just comes a point when you just need to say what needs to be said. And again, like, I care about all you out there who are listening and interested in this topic and see what's going on and have done your own research and proven certain things for yourself. Or perhaps you just coming across this topic and interested. But at the same time, it's like, I don't have to prove anything to anyone. The information speaks for itself. The catalog of information on this channel speaks for itself. And, maybe I've gotten a few things wrong here and there, and I don't pretend to have all the answers. I don't. I've been interviewed by other channels, and I openly admit when I don't know answers, or I don't, or if I'm speculating on certain things. And then when I feel confident about certain things that are rooted in data patterns, I say as such. And I'm just like, I'm trying to convey what I feel is truthful, based on actual information, not clown show narratives, not just things that can be said and just, because I say them, they're true. No, it's like, I think, I don't know how many videos are on this channel, but I know it's over 200 or something. I think by now, there's enough information on this channel. There's enough evidence on this channel to show the data patterns that anyone who's been around for even 6 months or a year is able to see the BS that's being spun and how there's a consistent pattern of manipulation and deception. I think it's evident. It's so evident, it's not even funny. And so again, like, nobody needs my channel. I just think, and, you know, nothing here is about ego. Like, I'm not trying to win subscribers. I'm not trying to win likes and this and that. And, I mean, the whole game with, even though, like, I say, hey, can you hit the like button and share the video? Yeah, like, I'm trying to spread the word. That's what it's about. It's not about winning popularity contests or anything like that. I don't care about any of that, any of the number stuff. All I care about is trying to help others who may, keyword may, be receptive to what's going on here. And that I think there's a strong case to be made that we are, in fact, living in a reincarnation soul trap. But just the very term of reincarnation soul trap has like a negative connotation to it. It oozes the perspective that everything's hopeless when it's not. And that's where everything kind of reverts back to what we were talking about earlier, how we're able to go outside the body and use our intention as creator beings. You can prove that you're a creator being. You can prove that your intention is everything and actually see it in action. You can experience it, feel it, go through it, and feel weightlessness. You can feel the disconnect from your body. You can see that, like, if you have some weird creepy entity or some weird realm that you don't want to be in, that all it takes is intention. Boom. Situation changes based on whatever that intention was that you put out. What's more powerful than that? What's more powerful than that? So, again, I'm just going to leave this here, and whoever sees and hears it, cool. Whoever wants to talk shit, go fuck yourself. I don't care. You're talking to someone who is addressing this once and done, and that's it. But when you have individuals out there saying, oh, you have a rape van and this and that, and just slandering the shit out of your name just out of nowhere with nothing to back it up, because they know they have nothing, well, you get this one and only response. So this is your feeding time. So feed off this information. And whoever sticks around, sticks around. Whoever sees the seriousness of what's being discussed on this channel sees it and connects with it and does their own research. And anyone else, whatever. You know, it's just not your time or not your incarnation, or perhaps you're just, interested in drama or soap operas on the internet or something, whatever. And maybe at some point you'll see what I'm talking about here, but or what Dan talks about or what Wayne talks about. But at the end of the day, we just got to do ourselves. And I refuse to be terminally online and fall into these traps of online drama. But at the same time, sometimes things need to be addressed. And so make of it what you will. And I think the one thing that I try to discuss on this channel is being able to look at information, look at data, look at patterns, and be able to prove things. And I hope that that's what it's done for some of you. All right. I just want to say thanks to everybody in the chat. I don't know. Maybe there's good comments, bad comments. I don't know. But I know I see a lot of familiar names, and hope you're all doing well. And we'll see each other soon. Just to kind of throw this out there. And this is completely unrelated. Sergeant Schultz is a horrible information resource for the Soul Trap. It's Soul Trap Truthertainment. That's my opinion. All right, take care of yourselves. We'll see each other again soon, and I'll see you probably in a couple weeks. All right. Much love, and don't work too hard. All right. Thank you.